Good Davach, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for the new week. As we welcome in A.B. Spry, Saba, Mo Kushner, Yisrael Fisher, Irving Fishbaum, Stephen Holtzman, Rich Lenner, Menachem Umansky, Arison Kletzel. Daf Yomi is 100 years old. Wow. Yitzi Muller, Nachman Chapler, Michal, Eddie Chazan. Eddie is from the airport, I believe. Wow. I know how that feels. It should be a safe trip, Eddie. Eddie's not used to just sitting there in one place like that without a...
Thank you, Shavuot Tov.
Shavuot Tov. Berish Gesseman, Ben Zion Cohn, Dr. Block, Moshe Lehman, Avram Schenkman, Chaim Braun, Ilya Shutman, Moshe Jacklin, Yehuda from Yerushalayim, Abba Steinhals, David Helfgott, Uncle Oloshin. As we, Mo Kushner is here, as we are holding, by the Ema, which is situated 7 lines from the top of Yud Beis Amud Aleph. And that's 7 lines from the top of Yud Beis Amud Aleph, as Gedalia Engel makes it in under the wire. Gedalia is 7 lines from the top of Daf Yud Beis Amud Aleph, as we are sponsored by Baruch Ian for Lenishmas Esther Bas Yomi, Yaakov Chaim Ben Abba, Avram Ben Shmuel HaKoyin, and L'Refuah Shalema for Baruch Shlomo Ben Lino, by Aaron Swade and family, Lila Nishmas Chana Bas Shmuel, and Lila Nishmas his sister Freda Bas Shol, and by Shimon Deer for the Chayli Adaf and all of Chayli Yisrael, by Mark Frankel, L'Refuah Shalema for Miriam Sarah Bas Sipora, by Beirut Goldwasser for Akarsa Tevo Hashem did for his family and for all Chayli Yisrael. We learned from my Shver Avigdor Aryeh Ben Rivka, you should have a Refuah Shalema, for Marshall Castle's brother Mordechai Ben Sari Yehudas, they should all have a Refuah Shalema B'Sek Shar Chayli Yisrael. Again, for those that are arriving a little bit late, 7 lines from the top of Daf Yud Beis Amud Aleph. The Ema says the Gemara, if we say that Beis Shammai learns out that the shir of Kiddushin is a dinner, because by an Amma of Riyah we have to allow her to have Gira in Kesef, there has to be a deduction that when she wants to free herself, if the Adain doesn't want to perform Yud, so we learned out the Hefta, that you have to deduct her years that she already did service. So it has to be something deductible, so then it doesn't have to be a dinner. It could be 2 prutas. Ve'ema palga the dinner. It could be a half a dinner, so you can deduct from a half a dinner, or even ve'ema shtei prutas. Says the Gemara, well, since the Torah insists on something more than the minimum, more than a pruta, kevan da piktem a pruta, then we say it's probably something of chashivas. Ukma dinner. Rava says a different reason why Beis Shammai says that the minimum amount is a dinner, because he wants to give women prestige, that they shouldn't be treated like something cheap. Rava Amahainu time of the Beis Shammai Shaloya B'nai Yisrael Kehefker, that the daughters of Israel should not be like Hefker. They should not be like almost an ownerless item. They should be given some kind of value. And now we get to the halacha Beisilayim B'pruta, and I should give you a little bit of a warning that we're going to have some mathematical Gemara now. A little mathematical Gemara. It's not that hard, but you're going to have to put on your thinking cap a little bit. Now the question is, Beisilayim B'pruta, does that mean the smallest coin at any time. Savar Rab Yosef L'meima Pruta Koldahu. It's anything. As whenever the generation makes the smallest coin, that's enough. Says Amalei Abaya V'halok Kitani Kamhi Pruta. How much is a pruta? Echad mishmayne be'isrei talki. 1/8 of Italian isser, which sounds like it's a certain minimum. Like Mefarshim say, a half a barley corn of silver. The Chitema says, no, maybe it's just telling us that Hani Mila B'darish Shel Moshe. In the generation of Moshe Rabbeinu, the smallest coin was that. But here, it's whatever is the smallest coin. So the Gemara says it's not so. How much in his generation is a pruta? 1/8 of Italian isser, and if the amount given is less than that, less than a half a barley corn of silver, it's no good. V'chi asa Rabin Amar Rab Daistoy v'Rab Yanai v'Rab Oishia. V'chi asa Rabin Amar Rab Daistoy v'Rab Yanai Amar Rabbi Daistoy v'Rab Yanai v'Rab Oishia Shiru Kama Have Pruta. How much is a pruta? Echad Mishisha be'Isra Italki. So you see that there is a minimum. It's not whatever is the smallest coin. Amalei Rav Yosef Ihachi. If that's the case, Hainu de Tanina. This is an interesting medrash in Torah's Kahanim in Vayikra. And it's telling us how grievous is the sin of Me'ilah, of benefiting and committing trespass with Me'ilah. Now the din is that if somebody commits trespass, let's just pick randomly, Marshall commits Me'ilah, right? And, so he thinks it's a pruta. How bad? The din is he has to bring an Oshem Me'ilah worth 2 slug. And we said, Say v'chashav kama prutais b'shnei slime. Calculate how many prutais there are in 2 sela, and it comes out yoiser me'alpayim, more than 2,000 prutas. More than 2,000. Now, that is not the calculation. That's not the calculation. We're going to see that that since if you're going to tell me a pruta is 1/8 of an isser, and we're going to see that there's 8 isser. Excuse me, we're going to see that there's 96 isser in a cellar. Now, if there's 96 isser in a cellar, 8 times 96, well, let's not do 8 times 96, because it has to be, there's 2 slum in the Oshem that Marshall brings. Right? It's not 1 cellar, it's 2 slum. So if there's 96 isser in a cellar, so then there's 192 isser in 2 slum. And 192 times 8 is 1,536. So it's not 2,000. So that's confusing. Says the Gemara, Hashta alpaim loyhavian, it's not 2,000. Yoser me alpaim karilu, you say that it's more than 2,000? So Amalu al Saba, which is usually accredited to Eliyahu Navi, Anot Tanina la Karav Lalpaim, close to 2,000. So imagine, Marshall only trespasses 1 pruta, and he has to bring close to 2,000. So the Gemara says 1,536 is not close to 2,000. Says the Gemara, Saif Alpha v'chamesh meo slosem v'shito davin. It comes out to 1,536. So the Gemara says, this is what Marshall does in the shop. He tells the guy, it's close to 2,000. He really means only 1,536, but since it's over 1,500, so he says close to 2,000. Right? So the Gemara says, Kavan the Nafgalu Mapalga, since it passes the midway point of 1,500, so it calls it Karav Lalpaim Karli. It's close to 2,000. Okay. So now, what we're gonna get into a whole mathematical brouhaha over here is over the question of whether the pruta at one time was an eighth of an Italian Isser or a sixth of Italian Isser. So, let's see what's going to happen over here. And it's really good to sit down and learn as we're mamish, we're midway to Yom Adin. And it's an interesting thing that one of the things about Elul, which is so important, is that Hakol Hoylech Akarach Soy. Everything goes according to the finale. So when Hashem judges Tavshin Pei Gimel, He judges it by the end of the year. So that we come and we sit and we learn and we have in mind to learn Lishma, to be Mekayim in the mitzvah of Dibar Tabam, and to give Nachas Ruach to Hashem. This is the way to end the year. We're putting our best foot forward.
Before you go into the math, I have a question. Can I ask it?
Okay.
Isn't by Me'ilah even a half a pruta?
No, no. Pruta. Now, you're not allowed to. But you're not chayiv an ashim unless you benefit from a pruta. So now, Gufa. Ki asa Rav Dimi Amar Shir Rab Simai b'dayrai. Rab Simai evaluated in his generation. Kamahi pruta. How much is a pruta? Echad mishmayna be'isra etalki. 1/8 of an Italian isra. V'chi also Ravin, when Ravin arrived, Amashiru Rab Distoy Rab Yanai Rab Oishia, Rab Distoy Rab Yanai Rab Oishia calculated Kamui Pruta Echad Meshisha Be'Isrei Talki, 1/6. So Amalei Abaya Rab Dimi. Abaya suggested to Rab Dimi, Nema at v'Ravin. Let's say that you and Ravin beplukta dahani tanoi kamifligis. They argue with the machloikis of the following Tanoim in the breakdown of the currency. The Tanya, Pruta Shamru Chachamim, the Pruta that the Chachamim mention, Echad Mishmayna be'Isra Italki. It's an eighth of an Italian Isra. And now, here is how we're going to do the breakdown over here. There's 6 more kesef in a dinner. Every dinner is made up of 6 ma. And each ma is shnei punyon. Each ma is 2 punyon. So therefore, that means since each dinner is 6 ma, and each ma is 2 punyon, that means each dinner is 12 punyon. Punyon shnei isarin. So that means that each ma is 24 isr. Excuse me, not each ma. Each dinner is 24 isar. That's a good thing to remember, that each dinner is 24 isr. We really want to know our isrs, right? So each dinner is 24 isar. An isr is shnei musmasin. So that means that each dinner is 48 musmasim. And each musmas is shnei kontrunken, and each musmas is 2 kontrunken. That means each dinner is 96 kontrunken. And then each kontruk is shtei prutais. Now 96 times 2 is 192. So that means each pruta is 192 each dinner is 192 prutas. Let's mark that down. Each dinner is 192 prutas. Now, so that's very interesting to calculate. If each dinner is 24 isser, and each dinner is 192 prutas, now better work out, but 24 times 8 should be 192, right? Yes. So if each dinner is 24 isser, and each dinner is 192 prutas, so that means that every single isser has 8 prutas, right? Because if a dinner is 24 isser and a dinner is 192 prutas, so 24 into 192 is 8. So that means that each isser is 8 prutas. So that means a pruta is an eighth of an isser italki. So that stems with this calculation. Any questions on this? No. No. Okay, he's gonna start charging in the shop issers.
Wait, with or without dessert, these dinners?
No, the dinner comes with 5 courses and bourbon. Now, we could always count on Marshall for a good question when we're sleeping.
I like the answer better than the question.
Now, so that's the calculation of a pruta being an eighth of an isser. Now, Reb Shimon Gamliel says he has a whole different lineup over here. But let's remember that always there's 6 more in a dinner. That's also a good thing to remember. Okay, so Reb Shimon Gamliel Omer shloisha hadreisin l'ma. Every ma is 3 hadreisin. Shnei heintzin l'hadris. Each hadris has 2 heintzin. That means each ma is 6 heintzin. Shnei shmonim l'heinetz. So that means each ma is 12 shmonim. Beis prutais, and is, let's do that one more time. Each ma is 3 hadreisin. Shnei heintzin l'hadris. That means each ma is 6 heintzin. Shnei shmonim l'heinetz. So that means each ma is 12 shmonim. And beis prutas, and there's 2 prutas l'shamin. So that means that each ma is 24 prutas. So each ma is 24 prutas. And we said that there's 6 ma to a dinner. So 6 times 24, 6 times 24 is 144. Right? So that means, according to this, that each dinner is 144 ma, 144 prutas. So if each dinner is 144 prutas, and each dinner is 24 isser, because that's constant, each dinner is 24 isser, so then how much is 24 into 144? 6. So then there's 6 prutas in an isser. So according to this calculation, there's 6 prutas in an isser. Nimtza pruta echad mishisha be'isser italki. A pruta is 1/6 of an Italian isser. So lema demar amar ketanakama. The master that says it's an eighth is like the calculation of the Tanakama. V'Ravin, and Ravin who says it's a 6, the Amar Reb Shimon Gamliel. This would be a very good solution of one y says an eighth and one y says a 6. Amalei now. The first calculation is the more accepted calculation. Amalei bein didi or bein derav, and I'll leave it at Tanakama. That there's 192 prutas in a dinner. Like kasha, had a yaker isur. One is where the isur was high in value. Had the zul isur, and one is where the isur was low in value. Had the yaker isur, when the isur was high in value, then kum esim rabba bezuzah. Then there were 24 isser to a dinner, and therefore in that case it would be an eighth of an isser. Had the zul, then kum tlosin utrain bezuzah. Then there were 32 isser in a dinner. Instead of being 24, there were 32 isser in a dinner. And then, with 192 prutas, let's see, then it would be 6 times 32. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3, 180. Carry 192. Yeah. If the isser was deflated, so instead of being 24 isser in a dinner, there were 32 isser in a dinner. Then if there were 32 isser in a dinner, then if 192 prutas equal 32 isser, then there are 6 prutas in each isser instead of 8, and that's when it's a 6. Now, this was the mathematical section of the evening. If there are any questions now, before we go further, I'll take them.
So, Rabbi, so it appears that Alpayim then becomes very low, and it makes better sense to say that when it says Alpayim, that we're talking about the 8.
Yeah, because if it's 8, it's 1536.
Right, otherwise it'll be 996 or something.
Correct,
like that.
correct. Well, it was, you see from the Mishnah that the standard was an 8th. That's why the Mishnah says an 8th. By the way, Richard Rosenzweig, it's nice to have you on Facebook, but it's even nicer to have you on Zoom, so come on when you can, please. And we welcome the Lowy family and the Steinhauser family. We're just joined by Yeshua Shmuel Eisenberg. It's good to have you. Philippe has joined us. Good to have you as well. Okay. That's the end of the mathematical Gemara, Rabbi Say. I'm sorry, I know you wanted more, but what could you do? Now we are back to regular garden variety Kiddushin. Amar Shmuel. And for those that are just joining us, we are 10 lines from the bottom of Daf Yud Beis Amud Aleph. 10 lines from the bottom of Daf Yud Beis Amud Aleph. Amar Shmuel, Kitcha B'Tmara. If you're Mekadesha with a date, now a date, it's very far from a pruta. Afilu Aimid Kur Tmarim B'dinner. Even if a kur of Tmarim is a dinner. Now a kur is 30 sa. Who knows how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dates that is. And here we said that in a dinner there's only 192 prutas, so hundreds and hundreds of dates are less than a pruta. Still Mekudeshes. And we'll see that when it says Mekudeshes, it means a suffix Kiddushin. You have to give a get and a suffix. Why? Chayshinon Shema Shava Pruta B'Madai. Because maybe a date is worth a pruta in distant Madai where there's a scarcity of dates. Says the Gemara, V'anan Tanan Beisil Ayim B'Pruta B'Shava Pruta. Only it's the value of a pruta. Mashma, if it's not the value of a pruta, we don't say that maybe somewhere else it is. Says, well, like Kasha B'Kedushei Vadai, have Kedushei Safik. Beis Hillel is talking about Kedushei Vadai. It's only a Kedusha, a definite Kedushin, if we know it's worth a Shava Pruta. But if not, it's a suffix, and we have to give us get misafik. That's Shmuel's. We're going to see that not everybody holds of Shmuel, but that's Shmuel's opinion, that we have to be worried that somewhere else it might be worth a Pruta. How Gavra the Akdish Bezavda the Urdi. He was makdish a woman with a ball of cotton or tufts of wool. Yosef Rav Shimon Kamei the Rav. Rav Shimon was sitting before Rav. And he was being ma'ayin. He is space of a pruta in. If it has a value of a pruta, she's mekudeshes. Eloi. Says the Gemara, but even the less space of a pruta. If it doesn't have a shav pruta, not v'mashmul chayshinan, we have to be concerned maybe somewhere else where this material is scarce. It's not. It is a shav pruta. Says well, if it's a pruta, she's definitely mekudeshes. Safik, you need to get just in case. How gavra the akdish ba'avna de kuchla. There was a man who gave a bluish stone to a woman, a piece of blue marble. Yosef Rav Chisda v'kamesharle, he was sitting and evaluating. He ispe shava pruta in v'iloi loy. Says the Gemara v'ilespe shava pruta loy. But if it doesn't have a shava pruta, not v'ama shmul chayshina. We're worried that maybe somewhere else it is worth a pruta. Rav Chisda loy savalei d'shmul. Rav Chisda says we only have what we have in front of us. If over here it's not a pruta, she's not mekudeshes. Amalei ime, so the mother said, wait a second. On that day that he gave to her the blue stone was worth more. It was worth a pruta, but she had no proof to back that up. Amalah, so what happened was afterwards she already accepted Kiddushin from someone else. Amalah, lav kol kaminach, you're not believed, just on your say-so, the asvis la basra, that you should forbid her to the second husband. You know, Davishib Erva is, you need two witnesses. You're not believed to say that day it was worth a pruta. And the Gemara says it's similar, lav hainu the Yehudis the Bisayah de Reb Chia. That's a little bit frightening story of Yehudis, the wife of Reb Chia. You know, when a woman has a lot of pain in delivery, she says some things that she's not very pleased with her husband. So, Dahavius Lotzar later, she was giving birth to twins, and she was agony. Amalei, so she said during the time, Amalei, my mother told me that Kibul Bechavucha Kiddushin Kizutris, that your father accepted Kiddushin from someone else for you when you were a little baby, a little child. And therefore you're forbidden to your husband, because you're already a married woman. So Amallah, so Reb Chia told her, Lav kol kimine de imech, your mother is not entitled to cause you to be usher to me. The usher is like hilvoi. No, you're married to me, and to say now that you're not, that's a davar shebe'erva, you need two witnesses. Amalei Rabbanal Rav Chisda, Amai, but why? There's a rumor, that's the way Taisus learns, that it's a rumor, only a rumor. There's a rumor that there's witnesses in far out Idis, the Yodei, the Bahu Yuma, Have Shava Pruta. There's a rumor that there's witnesses that on that day the blue stone was worth a Shava Pruta. So he says, we don't pay attention to such a rumor. The witnesses are not here. It's only a rumor. They're not with us. Lav hainu de Reb Chanina, isn't that similar to the case of Reb Chanina? The din is that if a woman is captured, then she's not believed to say that she wasn't molested. But if we don't know that she was captured, and she says she was captured but she wasn't molested, then we believe her. Because apesha aser hu apesha hitu. We didn't know she was captured. Now she says she was captured but she wasn't molested, we believe her, because the pet at asas is believed also to be mutter. The question is over here that there was a woman that said she wasn't molested. She was captured, wasn't molested, but they said, but there are witnesses in Istan. There are witnesses in the north that know she was captured. So then she doesn't have a pesha aser. Dam Rab Chanina, Eideha B'tzad Istin, there are witnesses in the north that know she was captured, and therefore we can't believe that she says that she wasn't molested because the information that she was captured is not from her, and therefore v'tiyaser. So the Gemara says, Eideha B'tzad Istin v'tiyaser. There are witnesses in the north, and she should be also. Right now, the witnesses are not here. Now, Abaye v'Rava lo'isvira lahu lahad Rav Chisda. Abaye and Rava don't hold of Rav Chisda that he says that we're not concerned about the witnesses that are somewhere else that knows that it was worth a pruta. He doesn't hold that way. Because the reason why we're not concerned about the witnesses in the north and we believe the captive that she wasn't molested, because anyway there's an argument to believe her that she wasn't molested. Because women make themselves look unseemly so that the captor shouldn't want them. Imikilu b'shvuya demenavla nafsha, because she makes herself look unseemly so that they shouldn't violate her. She makes herself unseemly to her captors. Nekel be'eshes ish. Now, ishtoyer me'ahu mishpacha besura. There was left over from this family, who the second husband that married the wife, after we declared that the first marriage was nothing because the blue stone wasn't worth a pruta, Uporshi Rabbanamine. And the Rabbanan didn't marry into that family because they were afraid that maybe the first marriage was good and then the children from the second marriage are mamzerin. V'lam mishum desvirulu de Shmuel, not because they held of Shmuel that maybe it was the blue stone was worth a pruta somewhere else. Elamishim desvirulu kabayi v'rava, that they should have been concerned that there were witnesses in Idis, and the fact that we're not concerned about the witnesses in the north by the woman that was captured, that's only because she was malavel herself. New case. Hahu gavra da aktish b'shutisa da asa. She was betrothed with a branch of myrtle, b'shuka, in the market. Now, we frown at being mekadosh a woman in the market because that's a promiscuous thing to do, let's get married in the marketplace. So Sholcha Rav Acha bar Huna the Kamid Rav Yosef Kahai Gavna Mai. What's the din in such a case? Sholach le Nagdei Karav, give him malchus like Rav because he shouldn't have been mekadosh in the shuk. V'itzter Gita Kishmul, and even though here the myrtle is not worth a pruta, but you need a get because maybe it's worth a pruta somewhere else. Now, why do you give malchus? The Rav mangid al the mekadosh b'shuka. Rav gave malchus to a person that was so promiscuous to be mekadosh in the marketplace. V'al the mekadosh b'biyah, and for being mekadosh b'biyah, you have to realize that if you're mekadosh b'biyah, you need witnesses. It's not very tznius for witnesses to see you being mekadosh b'biyah. V'al the mekadosh b'lo shiduchei, and for people that make kiddushin without arranging to get married beforehand, on the spur of the moment, v'al the mevatel gita, and on a person that gives to a shliach a get, and then says that he's being mevatel the get, because that could lead to a disaster if the shliach disobeys and brings the get, and then the wife won't know that it was nullified and marry, and it'll cause mamzerim. Val the meiser moidah agita, somebody who the bezdin coerced to give a get, and then he said to a power of attorney that he was forced. So again, that could lead to terrible mamzeris. Val mitzar shluchad rabbanan, and for a person when a shliach brings a hazmana from din and he aggravates the shliach and he tortures the shliach, or Val the Chala Shamtil Veitlos in Yomin, or somebody who leaves an excommunication on himself for 30 days without coming to court to remove it. Val Chasna de Dayer Beichamua, and for a son-in-law that lives in the house of his father-in-law, because a lot of times a mother-in-law has feelings and they might have an affair. Says the Gemara, de Dayer in only if he lives there, Chalaf Lay, if he passes by. They didn't give flogging. He just passed by his in-law's house. V'nagdei Rav Sheshes, and Rav Sheshes flogged him. That's different because that was a mother-in-law that there was already a rumor that he had an interest in. Who made them avidaime? That's because there was already a rumor that they were too friendly with each other. Avidaime chamse minei. Nardoi, in Nardoi, they said that they don't flog by all these cases. Nardoi Imre bekulu loiman gerav. In all the cases, Rav did not give malchus el al de mekadosh bebia v'loy shiduche, where somebody used bia for kiddushin without previous arrangement. V'ikad amre afilu b'shiduche. Even if there was arrangement, but like I said, to be mekadosh bebia, you need witnesses on kiddushin bebia. Nami mishum pritzusa. That's a very promiscuous activity. Ha'u gavra de kodesh b'tzipsa da asa. A man gave a mat of myrtle to his wife, real romantic. Chatzkel gives to Sarah a myrtle mat. Amrulei, so they told him, but that's not worth a shavapruta. Vales be shavapruta. Amalahu, so he said to them, Tikdish ba'arba zuzah de isbe. No, but wrapped inside it is 4 zuz, so she should become mekudeshes with the 4 zuz that's inside. Shaklosa be'ishtika, so she takes it and she's quiet. Amarava, well, havishtikusa de la'achamat boys. That's quiet after the money was already given. Because shtikusa de la'achamat boys lav klomi. In other words, if he already gave it to her, and they said it's not worth a pruta, and then he said, well, let her with the 4 zuz that's inside it. So that's a shtika after it was already given, and shtika after it's already given is not considered like hoidah, and therefore they're not married. So Amar Rava mina minala. How do I know this distinction? The Tanya, Amala kinsi zela zub b'pikam. Take this coin as a deposit. V'chazva Amala, and then he said, you know what? Hiskachi libai. Be betrothed to me with it. B'shas matan mois, if he said that while he was giving it to her, mikudeshes. La'acha matan mois, if he said it afterwards, rotza mikudeshes. If she consents, she's mikudeshes. Loy rotza, if she doesn't consent, ain't mikudeshes. Now, what does it mean consent and not consenting? My rotza, my loy rotza. Consent, she's mekudeshes. If not, she's not. Ilema rotza da amra in, she says yes. Loy rotza, she doesn't want, is da amra loy. She says no. So then, in the first case, where it was b'shas matan nois, then even if she says no, she's mekudeshes. Mechlal the reisha, in the first case, ki amra loy, where she says no, nami have a kiddushin, that can't be. Amayva kamaloi, she said no. Elav ratsa da amra in. Ratsa means she said yes. Loi ratsa de ishtika, she's quiet. But if it's afterwards, being quiet is not good enough. V'shmami no shtika da achamat mois v'lav klomo. That's nothing. I'll now just change the camera for a second.